Poor Susan. She gets.
City council meeting. If you could please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And then I think we start at 6:05 or whatever time you had. Roll call.
Mayor Follendorf,
Here.
Vice Mayor Herman,
Here.
Councilmember Matilde,
Here.
Councilmember Olivera,
Present.
Councilmember Brolio.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Item 2, approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda in front of you?
I'll move.
Second.
Is there any public comment? Oh, okay, there's a motion on the table. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
3, public comment. This portion of the meeting is reserved for persons wishing to address the council on matters not on the agenda. State law prohibits the city council from acting upon matters not listed. Is there any public comment? Nope. Okay, moving on. Item 4, report out of closed session. There were 2 items for closed session. One was conference with real property negotiator, and the second was conference with labor negotiator. Direction for both items was given to staff. Item 5, consent agenda. There are 2 items on the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve?
I'd like to pull B for discussion.
Okay. That just leaves item A. Is there any public comment for item A? Nope. Is there a motion to approve consent agenda item A?
So move.
Everybody moved it.
We all move together? Yes.
Pick one.
I'll second.
Okay, second, or however you want to swap it.
Okay, so it'll be Alvin and Linda?
Yes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, item B.
Item B, my question has to do with certification to be mold-free after this work is done on the building. I kind of searched through there. I thought there was some discussion that we had offline that they would certify that,
Yes.
but I didn't see it in writing. So is it in here and I just missed it, or do we need to make sure that's in there?
I'm not sure that that's in his estimate.
I didn't read it, so I am not sure.
We can get that information available, and we'll have it in writing.
Yeah, so I mean, I could approve it with that caveat that it's certified mold-free when they're done with the
We
work.
will ensure that.
Yeah.
But we did hear from them in both instances, the existing damage and the flood damage, that they said it would be.
Yes,
Mold.
and they will test for it at the end.
Yeah, okay.
So that's the conversation that we've had. We'll just make sure that we wrap that up. in writing.
And I was speaking both with the representative from Balfour, as well as from the RMA, our Risk Management Association, or Authority.
The Balfour is doing all of the work, right? The
Yes.
deferred maintenance work plus the,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Because what your concern is it's a substantial investment. Could we still have a building that's potentially
Yeah,
unavailable?
yeah.
And I need to clarify, it's not certified mold-free, it's certified safe, because you can't possibly have a mold-free structure. It just doesn't happen.
Okay.
It's safe to,
Well,
it's
then,
safe to be in.
whatever their certification
Yes.
is to make it, you know, that we're comfortable with having
Yep.
folks in there.
And what are the the adjustments to the building that the deductible and the insurance estimate repairs aren't covering? 'Cause it says,
I'm sorry, I missed, what are they covering?
what are they, I'm sorry, what are they not covering? On the recommendations and on the first page, there's number 2. Staff
So
recommends.
the 25,000 is our deductible towards the
Right.
repairs from the water damage. The 15,000 is out of pocket, that was existing damage and deficiencies to
Okay.
the offices where we had water coming into the building. And so that is the cost of removing the siding, fixing the trim, clearing out all the insulation, and that's strictly our cost, not covered out of insurance. And in order to make sure that it's a clean and clear building for everybody to work in, those are damages and repairs that we need to do.
Right.
But unfortunately, not covered under insurance.
Is there any other council comments, questions? Okay. Any public comment? No? Okay. If there's no further discussion, is there a motion to approve consent agenda item 5B?
I'll move to approve with the caveat that the language is addressed with respect to safe habitation of the property.
Okay. Moved by Joe, seconded by Alvin. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The addition. Okay. Move on to regular agenda. First agenda item is 6A, council election of mayor for the 2019 calendar year. So, with
So
that,
we'll be just asking for nomination,
okay, that's it?
for nomination.
Okay.
I'd like
So-
to nominate Amanda Follendorf for mayor for the year 2019.
Okay, there's a nomination on the floor.
I second that.
Okay, so with that, did that count as a motion to go forward?
It does.
Okay,
If it fails, then you can continue and.
okay. So there's a nomination on the floor with a second. Should we do roll call or just do
Roll call would probably be advisable because of
the
the
okay.
breakdown.
Okay, so with this vote, we will do roll call, starting to my left.
Aye. Yes.
Aye.
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 Okay, 5-0. With motion moved by Veronica and seconded by Joe.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Okay,
I'd like to just say, before we move on, I think you've represented us well, and thank you for
Yes.
that. It's been a while since we had a mayor on the national news.
So
Way to go.
Yeah.
from here on out in the agenda where it says newly appointed mayor, that's you.
Okay, so then now we move on to, and then we just do the same thing again. Sorry, I just want to make sure we're all on the same, okay. Item B, council election of vice mayor for the 2019 calendar year. Is there a nomination on the table? Okay, if,
Oh, no,
okay, no nomination,
Let's see.
okay.
do you
You
want us
can
to,
make
I
one.
mean, does anybody want down? I'm
Okay,
just making sure if one
with-
doesn't.
Oh, yeah, but if you want to make that, I'll stay on. but-
Somebody will need to make that
Yeah,
nomination.
somebody has to make a motion to,
Somebody
I'll stay
has
on
to
if you
make a
want.
nomination.
And
Okay,
as,
This is all going down
no,
here.
it's okay.
Yes,
Done
As
again.
mayor, can you make a nomination?
The mayor can make a motion for vice mayor, and so at this point, we need a nomination with a second, and then we'll take a roll call vote.
We're pretty much rookies around here on the nominating thing. Okay.
oh, so I gotta do it.
Anyone can make it. but yes.
Anyone can make it. Well, you guys were all staring at me.
Including
We're looking for leadership. in Berlin.
Because you're newly appointed mayor.
Is there any, no?
I don't know. Unless
You want to stay on
Okay,
with it?
then I.
I'll
no,
stay on if you
I-
want to
Or
make
do
that
you wanna
nomination.
step up, Joe? I mean, does anybody,
I'll stay on if you, but if somebody have to make a
I'll step up
nomination.
if somebody wants to nominate that.
Don't all make a motion at once.
and then we open for discussion right
You
afterwards?
can, yes.
Okay, so then I'll second Joe nominating himself right now.
Is that official?
I'll make it first and we can open discussion it.
Is that an official motion? We want to make sure for the record.
Yeah.
And he can nominate himself.
He can.
Okay, cool.
Or if you want, you could do it the other way, and have the mayor make the nomination and have the council member
Yeah.
make that probably
Sounds better.
it's semantics.
Okay, somebody needs to tell me what the minutes should reflect.
I'll
Amanda
nominate,
makes the motion.
I'll nominate Joe.
Exactly, okay. So I'll make a second then.
I already did my part over here. You guys get on board.
I thought by me saying that, okay.
Okay,
We have a first and a second.
We got a first and a second.
Okay, so with that, we'll do roll, sorry,
are
with
we
that, we will do roll call again and start
We're not, we're Joe's.
to my
nominating.
left.
Where do we go? Okay.
If you support, aye. If you don't, obviously nay. And we'll do roll call again. So
And
we
this
are, the motion is Joe to become vice mayor.
Okay. Aye.
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 Good. 5-0. Congratulations.
Thank you.
The minutes will reflect, just effective, quick decision.
Yeah, it will not show a decision.
If you weren't here and you don't watch it, then you don't know.
Okay, are we done with that?
We are.
Okay. Moving on, appointment of 2 council members to an ad hoc museum committee and discussion of various board and commission appointments. So I think the first thing we have to tackle is ad hoc for the museum. Is that correct, Melissa? And then we can talk about the committee appointment, and you listed them in the packet, right? You did.
So perfect. I'll go ahead and handle the ad hoc museum committee, and then Susan has planned to go over the information that you have regarding the standing appointments for the existing committees. So as the council is aware, the Citygate report made the recommendation that we formulate an ad hoc committee with the foundation and the museum commission to sort of chart our path for a sustainable future for the museum. The commission really took the lead on this recommendation. They had it agendized in their last meeting in December. They've appointed 2 members. The foundation was going back to their board to appoint 2 members, and they requested that I bring this item to you so that you could also appoint your 2 members to that committee. They have also solicited from staff budget information, and then also the excerpts from the Citygate report pertaining to this topic. So they are definitely doing their research, taking seriously that recommendation, and then ready to meet with your 2 appointed members. We hope to meet, I believe they wanted to meet before the end of the month. We don't have an idea in terms of commitment as to what it will take. And we have a draft preliminary agenda that I'm working with the Museum Commission Chair for that meeting in January. So with that, I think I would turn it over to you. I did have a really good question, though, about a quorum for the Museum Commission. If there are designated city council members that also serve on the Museum Commission, potentially we could face a quorum issue if there are 3 museum commissioners or more participating in that ad hoc committee. I'm just assuming that the quorum is 3. I'll have to go back and just verify, but just caution.
They're a 7-person body.
7?
Does that make any difference?
So is it, so it would be
So it'd be
4.
There's-
So you need 4 for a quorum for the commission. The concern is
Yeah.
if
Brown
it's
Act.
a Brown Act
Yeah,
issue with
okay.
the city council having too many members present.
Well,
What about the foundation? Because I guess I didn't realize the foundation was part of this ad hoc. I thought this was just the commission and the council working together. But if the foundation is also adding, they're gonna violate the Brown Act as well. Because Ron is on both of them.
Right.
I don't know who else was selected from the commission that also served on the foundation. so we're basically duplicating, and we may need to request that they reconsider this.
So we definitely can. I
Okay.
think that they're looking for you to make your appointments, and then
Okay.
they will move forward. I think they were just demonstrating that this was a priority to them, to begin these conversations with you.
Okay. Is there anyone that's interested that isn't on the museum commission?
I'm very interested.
Okay. Does the consensus of the council want to be opposite of the commission to keep it? Or what, how does everybody feel? Do you want to do 1, 2, what?
I'm interested I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know what time meetings are at yet.
They haven't
Maybe-
established that.
Well, for this purpose. Are we talking about general appointments to the city
No.
rep, or are we just talking about this activity?
Just
Just
this
this activity,
Just
I
that.
think.
Okay.
Yeah.
They need to make them in the evenings.
So,
Well,
yeah.
Or,
I'm
if
fine.
Linda's,
We don't-
if you're interested too, and you could do the,
Well, we're looking for two.
There-
Yeah, just
there's
two,
gotta be
Okay, well,
two
I
that
think that
are,
I'm
would be-
interested.
two that are not
would
on the
be a good
commission,
idea.
right?
Right.
Two and we would not be on the commission as well, is that
Right.
what we're trying to say?
Yeah.
Is that the,
Yeah,
okay,
'cause I would
have
yeah.
no
Well,
conflict.
I'm not on, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so there's the two
Joe
of
and
us.
I do the commission, so that would work.
One thing, just to remind you all, we had this discussion to make sure that even though it's a different body, it's different issues, then to avoid any combination of the 3 of the 4 of you.
Yes.
Right.
So that's obviously something that.
Well,
we'll
be talking
discuss.
to me.
Yeah.
Just, yeah, anyway, still confusing, because then to me, it sounds, that's all right. Anyway, I'll let you handle it. I'd like to be an ad hoc member. And so
Okay,
does, and
thank
so
you.
does Alvin.
So we have two, so Alvin and
There you go.
Linda.
Yeah, maybe
Now I
something
will-
Crazy comes up. But
Now I will turn it over to Susan, and she'll handle the discussion of the rest of the committees.
Okay, I gave you the 2018 council appointments, and I've highlighted Scott Vehill's obligations to those committees, because those will need to be covered sooner rather than later. And then I made an appointment worksheet so that you, Amanda, can work with staff on what their preferences are. If things are going to start moving around, you might be able to see it a little bit better here.
And so Susan brought this item to you based on the mayor's direction at the previous meeting, which is that the council be aware of what the vacancies currently are, what the appointments will be for the upcoming year, and then that could provide you guys opportunities to discuss them, and then we could come back with action and appointments at the previous meeting.
On a couple of them, it just might be good to note, I'm gonna use water for an example. It might be good to note when you guys are thinking about your appointment, some of these committees all are directly linked. So for example, LAFCO also has to report at Utica Water and Power. CPPA also has to report to UWPA. There is some overlap in some of these things. So, and also IRWMA as well should go hand in hand with someone that is on Utica Water and Power. So when you're thinking about these, think of some of the other things that might be beneficial to you to be on, to help you do your job on another board, if that makes sense. So vice versa, because you're going to be using some of the same information and going back and forth, and it's difficult when you're relying on somebody else to make sure you're getting information in a timely manner. At times, especially if there's a long gap, and sometimes we forget, especially when we're meeting more quarterly, not monthly. So that's something to keep in the back of your mind. For Alvin, I don't know if there's any on here currently that we should explain more, or you can work with staff to get further clarification on what exactly the board do, what you're interested in, what.
I'm just willing to get my feet wet in any of them for the most part. I mean, like Destination Angels Camp, Utica Power and Water, Solid Waste Management. I think I get the gist of most of them on there. And I'm here to help you guys out as much as possible too. If you guys
Several-
didn't. Go ahead.
Several of those, the meetings that are on, that these committees are during the day.
Right, that's what I kind of highlighted.
Like to let you know which ones those are if you're interested.
And then DAC is, in their bylaws, is automatic mayor.
Automatic what?
Mayor.
DAC is?
Really? So we didn't have
It's
it.
in the,
So be
yeah.
reasonable.
And then it's at the direction of the staff and the mayor to appoint an another person if they want.
Oh,
His
okay.
wife Scott is on the DAC,
Oh, okay.
so.
All right.
CPPA,
So are we gonna go through this tonight, or are we just gonna provide feedback to Amanda, or what are we gonna do?
Just,
You guys will just, I'm
Just
sorry,
hand
you
you
guys
these?
will fill this out, send it to Susan, and then
top
once
line.
they
Oh,
all
okay.
come in, Susan and I will sit down and we will accommodate what everybody wants, put it on the second graph that you see here.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then we'll bring it back to the next meeting, and then at that point, if someone's not happy, or they wanna do a swap, we can talk about it at that point.
Sounds good.
And I don't think there are any meetings that I don't think we have any meetings before the next meeting that we need to worry about for alternates with Scott, right?
correct.
Because COG doesn't meet this, yeah, he's an alternate.
If
The only
you-
thing would be DAC, I think.
I have not received their calendar, so.
Okay,
And environmental health he was on, but that's to be determined.
yeah,
they barely,
they never
meet.
Oh, okay.
Some never meet. Some never
That's the
meet,
one you
just, you know.
CPPA is a morning meeting, so is Central Sierra Economic Development District. I don't think those had times on them, but
And then
Well,
also,
Central Sierra is usually a 9:30 start, and
Yes.
it's quarterly.
yes.
Is that what it says there?
Mhm.
Okay.
and then the league, even though there is one representative, it does not prevent you guys from going. So you guys can go to the league meetings as you want to. There's no real voting except for the end of the year when they do the president and vice president voting.
Can I ask you guys to have your preferences back to me by the 8th?
I'll have you mine by 6:28
Yeah.
Perfect.
PM.
All righty then.
Before I move on, just double checking, no questions, no clarifications needed. We're good? Okay. And item D, authorize the city administrator to execute agreement with the Department of Tax and Fee Administration.
Perfect, thank you. So staff recommends that we authorize these agreements and submit our final package to the Department of Tax and Fee Administration to implement our local transaction and use tax. You can see the one agreement is for the one-time only cost of potentially a not-to-exceed amount of $175,000 to set up and do all the preparatory cost to begin the accounting and tracking and collection of our sales tax increase. The other agreement is for the administration of that tax and an administration fee that the state does charge the city. We currently pay that administrative fee right now on the sales tax that we collect. And I do not have estimates available from the state. According to them, the 175 not to exceed will include all new jurisdictions that have had a tax measure on the ballot, and it's a cost that's divided amongst those jurisdictions. So the price is set at a not to exceed, but could be lower dependent upon the election results and how many people will be moving forward with local measures. So there's no number that they could give me now. It's dependent upon how many jurisdictions submit this packet, and then that will sort of drive the cost distribution throughout the state. The administrative fee, the amount that we pay now is about $2,000 a quarter. It's ranged from $1,900 in the third quarter of 18 to $2,500 as the high in the second quarter of 2018. And that, I believe too, is a percentage-based rate. And so it's not necessarily a percentage of our income, but I think it's a percentage of statewide tax collection and our distribution of that amount. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. In terms of when that potential 175 will come due and payable, they've said it's due after our first advance and probably around May. So we will begin collecting the tax, I think, in April and receive that advance. So conservatively, we will realize no net gain from that revenue this year. It will go to pay the state to establish the system for tracking this new revenue for us. So that's what I have, and we would like your direction to execute those agreements and submit the required documentation to the state so that they can begin collecting for us.
Is there any discussion from council? Public comment? Okay, is there a motion to authorize Melissa?
To approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's good. Item 7, council reports. I will start to my left.
No report.
Oh, no report, unless you want to hear about Christmas.
Was it good?
New Year's.
No report.
Yeah.
How was
I was in Hawaii for Christmas. This was tough to come back to.
20 degrees.
Had to put long pants on and get rid of the flip-flops. This was tough.
Just walk out the door. I know.
Caught a cold on the airplane.
Oh, no.
Oh, well, no report.
And I have no report either.
Okay, calendar.
Okay. The Planning Commission will meet at 6 PM here on the 10th, and we'll be back here for City Council on the 15th. But I just wanted to let you know that LAFCO, that usually would be on the 21st, since that's a holiday, they'll be meeting on the 28th at 6 PM. So, and that was not on your calendar. That's it.
Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I'll second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No, yeah. What was your name?
Nubia.
Nubia?
I'm one of
Pleasure.
the deputy city attorneys. So your city attorney is out of town.
Okay.
So you'll see him next week.
Perfect. Thank you.
Me again, Joe. Sorry, I just keep getting in the way. So are you guys hearing anything that we've got the monument lights back on and working? Has anybody noticed out at Greenhorn?
Yeah, there